Good evening. Welcome to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. Tonight's topic, I'm going to talk about voyeuristic disorders, symptoms, causes, and treatments. Now, when one talks about a voyeuristic disorder, it's basically one of several psychiatric sexual disorders known as paraphilic disorders. Now, paraphilic refers to sexual interests, preferences, fantasies, urges, and behaviors that are outside the norm. They are considered symptoms of a disorder only if they are acted upon in ways that the potential to cause distress or harm to oneself or others, especially others who have not given consent. Now, a person with a voyeuristic disorder becomes sexually aroused by intentionally spying on unsuspecting people who are naked, getting undressed, or participating in sexual activities. Inadvertently coming across and viewing someone in such a compromising position is not a disorder. Now, when it comes to the symptoms, to be diagnosed with a voyeuristic disorder, a person must experience persistent and intense sexual arousal from the fantasy or act of watching an unsuspecting person who is naked, partially getting dressed, or sexually active for a period of 6 months. The viewer is likely to masturbate while watching someone but is not interested in having sex with the observed person. These behaviors must be causing severe distress or dysfunction in social, professional, or other significant areas of a person's day-to-day life. Now, the viewer must be at least 18 years old, and viewing must occur without the other person's consent. Now, younger voyeurs are rarely arrested, but adult voyeurism is a criminal act. Now, when it comes to causes, no specific cause has been determined for voyeuristic disorders. Some experts suggest that given the opportunity, many people have voyeuristic tendencies but are afraid to admit it or get caught. Voyeuristic disorders may stem from an accidental sighting of someone who is naked, disrobing, or getting undressed, or participating in sexual activity. Continued viewing basically reinforces and perpetuates the behavior to a point to where it goes beyond what is considered culturally acceptable or normal, and after that, voyeuristic disorders become pathological. Now, when it comes to treatments, voyeurs rarely submit themselves for treatment, but may be referred to treatment by a parent, spouse, or the legal system when they are caught breaking the law. Treatment for voyeuristic disorder typically involves psychotherapy, support groups, and medication. Now, CBT, known as cognitive behavioral therapy, can help the individual learn to control the impulse to spy on others by learning new and healthier ways to become sexually aroused. Antidepressants that balance brain chemicals and reduce impulsive behavior, or anti-androgenic drugs that suppress sex drive, may be used to treat a sexual, sadistic, or sadism disorder. That's a sexual sadism disorder. But what's being said is a number of these individuals have a very sick mindset when they are peeping toms. Now, I call voyeurism not physical rape, but psychological rape. Because although the individual at the tip of the iceberg with voyeurism doesn't have any interest in consensual sex with the persons they're viewing, down the road, they are going to have more intense sexual fantasies, and they may rape. I said they may rape. They may act on sexual fantasies. They may utilize pornographic material. They may even involve themselves in other sexual deviant behavior with animals, known as bestiality, swingers. But nevertheless, voyeurism, that's what it used to be. It's known as a voyeuristic disorder. Now, that name voyeuristic disorder is actually in the DSM. The DSM, if you're not a mental health professional, stands for Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Health Illnesses. That's the Bible that lists every mental health illness that's been classified. But what I'm going to tell you is, do not be naive that voyeurism or voyeuristic disorder doesn't exist. It does. And there are a number of individuals out there who commit these acts. Now, of course, again, younger folks, they don't get caught. And if they do get caught, they're not arrested. But if you're an adult and you're caught being a peeping Tom, it's a criminal act. But you can get help. But you got to want help. And you got to admit that you need help. Because let me tell you, when it comes to rapists, voyeurs, society doesn't have much sympathy for you. But before it gets to that point to where you actually harm somebody via rape or sadism and masochism and spanking, which is known as domination, all these other fantasies, they come into play from voyeurism. And voyeurism just means you are seeing an exhibition. Now, voyeurism and exhibitionism are totally opposite. The exhibitionist is very risque. They're actually putting on the act, whereas a voyeurist is seeing the act. So I want everybody to understand the difference between the two. But outside of that, voyeurism is now known as a voyeuristic disorder. There's risk behind it. So if you have any type of sexual deviant disorder which leads to sexual addiction, get help as soon as possible. Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to function in relationships. Because you're going to need sex so much, you're going to betray your partner. Along those lines, you can catch STDs, unwanted pregnancies. But when it comes to voyeurism, it starts off as harmless. But when the intensity grows, this is when there could be a problem of going in different directions, such as homosexuality, bestiality, swinging, S&M, submission and domination, you name it. Now, I'm not saying all of these sexual behaviors are deviant. Now, that just depends on which side of the fence you're on. Because most of us who are normal don't think of voyeurism. And you must classify people who are voyeurs with a mindset that needs fixing. But in order to fix it, you got to admit it. But be smart. Understand that there are individuals out there with sex addictions. But they all start off from the tip of the iceberg, known as voyeurism. Now, other topics could play with anybody's mind, such as molestation. Family background is huge. If you come from a dysfunctional family where a number of the sisters and brothers were engaging in incest, now this happens. This is not Jerry Springer. It actually happens. But people don't talk about it. But I'm talking about it. So understand, sexual deviant behaviors are real. Now, I did a video on this topic a couple of months ago. You can still check that out. Now, I gave an overview of the types of acts. So I took one of the acts and got a little bit more in depth. And I'm going to be doing more acts because some of these sexual deviant behaviors can lead to violence. And voyeurism is one. If you don't know, just educate yourself. Because you have a lot of people out there who are truly sick. And they need help. And the first stage of getting them help is to present the information. And that's what I do right here on my channel. Because if you want to live a healthy life, you must look at your own circumstances and issues. And once you look at your problems, face them, you get the help, and you stay with the programs, you can live a normal life. Be smart. You only live one time. Make it count. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 401 Talk Zone radio show for this evening, Monday, June 19th, 2017. You can tune into the 401 Talk Zone radio show every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Guest call-in number is 215-383-5785. If you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 401 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube so I can continue to give you quality information for educational purposes from a professional and mature perspective. Now, on this channel, I don't engage in debates, controversy, or emotional issues, nor do I participate in drama or unnecessary bickering because it is counterproductive. My channel is for educational purposes only, and what I do is present the information that I researched along with giving you my own personal experiences so you can have the tools to make it in the real world. Because if you're not educated, you will fail. And it's very tough to get back on your feet when you don't have the information on how the system works. Because having knowledge is power. And if you have a business, a topic, or a new YouTube channel that you would like for me to discuss on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, please email me at lej6521@gmail.com. And if you have a comment, please leave your comment in the comment section under the video. But make sure that your comments are pithy, no bloviating, pettifogging, or filibustering if you wish to opine. Now that's it for this video. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. Remember, please be gentle and respectful to each other, and have a wonderful and blessed night. Good night.